Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So we really appreciate you guys that did show up because we did have to do a time change. So we truly apologize to everybody. We had to, Brandon had some things to do today, so we did have to make it a little bit later. We're really sorry. I actually got myself like a big monitor so I can actually see the chat today without squinting like that all the time. So if you do see me looking this way, it's because I'm looking at that monitor. And how is everybody? How are you doing, Brandon? Welcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm good. It's a bright and sunny day today. I just love the sunshine. That's one of the biggest reasons why I moved down south. And it really just, I don't know, it does something to my soul when I have that beautiful sunlight. And just kind of, exemplifying the day, really. It's sunny, it's bright. I have a nice little favorite going to the football the finals today. My hometown, the Buffalo Bills, they're in the playoffs today, so we'll be watching that later.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Other than that, a good day. How are you?
I'm actually doing really good. I'm kind of laughing at the fact that you guys can play football and we have hockey here. And I still can't go see my mom and dad, but that's okay.
Right.
Legally can't go, we still have these silly restrictions up. So, but that's where we are right now. So what do you do? Emily's laughing at my monitor comment. So it is a lot quieter in here, which is different, right? Like, there's only, I think, the 5. Oh, still there's 6. Okay. That's good. And the squinting. Yeah. Like I'm always like, I can't see anything. So this way, at least I can sort of see without having to put my glasses on, or at least try to find them. And so I was thinking that this week coming up, what's the date today? The 16th. So next week, is going to be pretty crazy. We've got some stuff going on, and I'm going to pose a challenge to people. So there's been a lot of things, in the media everywhere, and I'm going to pose a challenge to people this week that I want you to really, and we always talk about this, don't we? Like about our intuition and following our gut and following what it is. And I realized something, that as we're paying attention to things, and this was actually brought, this wording was actually brought to me by a friend. And, they said, it's that we don't want to let go really of our ego, right? So we watch things, but because of the fact that we don't want to face something, we really hang on to the idea of where it is that we think that we were. Make sense?
Completely. Yeah.
So what I want you guys to do this week is to stay objective. I want you to stay objective. I want you to stay open. And I want you to really, really, really pay attention to your solar plexus this week, okay? Because your solar plexus is your intuition, it is your feelings, it is your blocks, your barriers, there's all of that stuff. So remember, as we talk about chakras, how I talk about, we have the crown chakra going into the third eye, going into the throat, going into the heart. And then we've got our solar plexus. From the bottom up, we've got our soul, like the soles of our feet. We have our root chakra. We have the sacral chakra. So when we get to the solar plexus, this is sort of like that middle chakra. And this really controls a lot of our feelings, our blocks, our barriers, what we're hanging on to. It's really part of our ego as well. So I'm going to put this into more simpler terms. So a lot of times, this could be within relationships. It could have to do with our money, our finances, politics, whatever it is. A lot of times when we start to feel this gut reaction, okay, literally it's like a gut reaction to something, we have to stop and ask ourselves, is this coming from a true place, or is this a block or barrier that we're hanging on to in some way? It's sort of like, let me put this into a simpler term. If we go into, let's say, relationships, okay, for instance, I know those are never simple, but it's the best way to describe it. So sometimes we think about, we think about a relationship or wanting to go into one or whatever it is. And sometimes we're hit with this like gut feeling and we're like, oh, I'm scared, or maybe I'm feeling some sort of negative reaction, not particularly to the person, but something to do with the situation. So that's where we stop and we go, okay, where is this coming from? Is this a gut reaction towards the person? No, I actually feel really great about the person themselves. I feel really good about. Okay, so what is it? Oh, is this something from my past? Oh, now I'm starting to feel that gut tighten again. I'm starting to feel these reactions coming in. I'm starting to feel like something is blocking me. And then we go back. Where is this coming from? How is it? And we've talked about this before. I sort of explained this, but I feel like, and once we start clearing it and allowing it to come up and really looking into, is this coming from the heart? Is this coming from my ego? Is this coming from the past? And I think that once we get into that heart and ego difference, we can really start to release a lot of these blocks and barriers. So as we go throughout this week, I want you guys to do that. Is it coming from ego? Is it something that I don't want to let go of? Or am I getting these feelings because these are true feelings towards what it is that is going on? And also, like, if you need to, shut down the TV, shut down, the media sources, and see then, and leave them off for like an hour or so. Let everything just sort of settle within you, because the more information that we have flying at us, it really doesn't help, again, those chakra systems. So shut it down. And then, a little while later, ask yourself again, where is this coming from? What is this? Is this true? Is this ego? Is this coming from the heart? Where is this feeling coming from? And I feel that as you guys go through this, there's going to be a lot of releases that could happen this week for you. So did you want to add anything to that?
One of the things I don't know how many people know, but the gut is actually a brain. It's one of our brains. Mm-hmm. We have our gut, we have our heart, which has a measured intelligence, and then, our brain in our head. We have 3 sets of brains, sets of centralized nervous systems that react and respond and electrically fire. And the gut is, one of our more animalistic brains, yes. I kind of associate it with like the reptile or reptilian way of being, that fight or flight, or sexual urge or desire, reproduction, or of course food, hunting, animalistic tendency for food. And so relying on that, and then like you said, Kathy, distinguishing it between, okay, what is instinct or intuition? What is ego? Anytime you feel you're stuck in a moment of trying to identify if you're coming from ego, all you have to do is ask, is the only person that I'm concerned with, thinking about, or servicing only myself? If it is, then it's likely it's going to be ego. Ego is not necessarily a bad thing. It represents your individuality, right? But if you're coming from a selfish place, from ego, and only self-serving means, that's, where it becomes a problem. So I think that's pretty good advice. Really learn to rely on that gut. And again, I posted this in some other forums somewhere online about using the gut, the heart, and the brain all together to make your big decisions. Those are really some of the best decisions I've made, are using all 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like and again, it comes down to like this week. I just feel it's going to be really strong, and, don't react out of the simple fact of reacting, and it especially taking that step back from, you know, the collective to some degree, right? When we take that step back of a collective, because you know, especially with everything that's going on, we are getting, you know, thrown at with media sources and media, and then we'll go on Facebook, and then we see all these people that are reacting to the media sources, and then we go on Twitter and we see different reactions, and then you're sort of in this place of, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what is it. And our first instinct is to react. It's to jump. It's to, you know, do something, because if we're doing something, we're not feeling helpless. We're feeling like we're actually doing something. But sometimes coming from that place of, I don't want to call it helplessness, but stillness is going to be the best reaction. It's just a matter of being still and listening. I tell you, this whole week, that's pretty much exactly what I've been doing. Just letting the information come and trying to go into a place of being still within myself and still within, you know, what it, like the things that I'm hearing, I'm allowing, and then you're just sort of absorbing and you're listening, and then you're releasing at that same time, so that there's not a reaction. There's just a taking it in. It's that stillness within the body. This reminds me so much of that Two of Swords energy, you know, from the tarot. And the Two of Swords, you know, really talks about being, you know, to some degree in a place of still, you know, place of being still. It can talk about being stagnant. So what we want to do is, it's not so much that we want to be stagnant, because stagnant doesn't produce results of some sort, but the being still can. And then when we take off the blindfold, because if you ever seen the Two of Swords, you know, as a tarot card, she's wearing a blindfold. So it's like, allow your body to absorb what it needs to absorb, allow it to speak to you, allow yourself to listen to it, and then you take off the blindfold and allow yourself to truly see what it is that you need to see. And it will be shown to you. You will start seeing that. So,
you know, to attest to that, I just did something that I've never done before.
What's that?
Not in this way. So I was asked, I was in a different area of town, and I was asked to like see the energy of like this area, this neighborhood.
Right.
And so what I did is I did exactly what you're saying. I was still, I sat there, I closed my eyes, I did my own little grounding thing, which I usually always do before I give readings. And I grounded myself, and then I asked, you know, to feel the vibe and to look into the vibe of all the areas and energy and people around. And Kathy, I saw the coolest things. It was so cool. It was like, I know this might seem a little much for everybody listening, but I think Kathy gets it. I was able to observe all the energy going on in the households, and I saw them as like these little colors and these lines. And each color and line represented a different state, mental state and emotional state, and the way that they were. I could see if this household felt awry or uncomfortable, or if there were emotional issues in one, or if there were kids in another. Like, I could feel the energy of this whole little area, and I was like mapping everything out in my brain. It was beautiful. But
that is so
I
cool.
sat there in the middle of the street, and I closed my eyes and I quieted down, and it exactly opened everything up. So it really does work. It really does work. Oh,
absolutely. You know, when I used to do paranormal investigation, right? So that was something that I would do very similar to what you were talking about, is sometimes before we even got to the house, we would be in the car, and I would just go into a kind of a place of stillness and allow what it is, whatever energy I'm getting or picking up or feeling, before I even went to the home. And it was funny. And I've done this with you, where, and I know that, you know, you guys may, if you've had a reading with me, or if you've seen some of the way that I work or whatever, sometimes I can astral project myself to a place. So I'm actually like, literally, I can see a house, or I can see the inside of something without being there. And so I would be able to do that. And by the time we got to the house, I would pretty much have a really good layout of exactly where it is that we needed to go, what we needed to set up, where I needed to be. And this is before I even saw, the house itself in physical form. So it was going into that place of stillness and just allowing those images, those feelings, all those thoughts, whatever it was that needed to come through, but you're not hanging on to them. You're allowing them to just come in and flow through you. And it makes such a difference because you're not grabbing them and keeping them as, like an absolute energy. You're allowing them to come in as a static energy, and that makes such a difference. I just wanted to show you that Two of Swords card. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see like the blindfold, and she's just in a place of stillness. Now remember that it doesn't need to be stagnant. Okay, it's still. And so allow that to just kind of stay in your mind this week, just to be in a place of still. You don't need to be stagnant, but be still. Okay. So
Shafty would like to know how astral projection works.
Well, okay. So Shafty, for me personally, I've mentioned this on the show before. I've never taken any official training in anything. I've never taken a class. I've never, for me, it was just a natural kind of thing that I really, 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 really worked on for a lot of things. But for me, it just, I worked with people. So I wouldn't say I've never taken classes or anything, but what I did have is I had amazing mentors. And one mentor, for instance, she was pretty crazy. She like her and her boyfriend, I worked with the both of them. And so what she would do is either her or him, they would send me a message and they'd be like, okay, we're on a road. The traffic's like, there's an accident up ahead. What are you seeing? And I wouldn't have a clue. And I'd be like, yeah, this little car hit this white truck and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, wow. Okay. Because I literally was like, it was like I just sort of flew there. I don't know how to explain it. So what she would do is sometimes she would say, okay, I had this boyfriend in, 19 whatever. And can you describe his house? I'd be like, oh, okay. So I absorb the energy of it. And, again, you're being in a place of stillness. Okay. And I would allow myself to just go with what it was that I was feeling. And so for me, I'd be like, I'm going to walk to the door. I see the door. I see the entrance. And then all of a sudden it was like objects would start popping up into my vision field. So for me, I was fully awake. I was fully knowing of what I was doing. I could stop it at any time if I wanted to. But I was able to, it was like I was there, but you're not really there. And because obviously if this was like 19, whatever it was, but I could do the same with clients when I was doing paranormal investigation as well. Like I said, I would kind of just see the house and allow myself to go within that energy. And then I was able to see different rooms and I was able to see different objects. And it's not like you're completely there. It's more like a
memory.
Well, yeah, kind of like a memory or a dream state of being there. So you may not see the exact color of the couch, but you know where the couch is. Or you might all of a sudden see like a vase that shows up in like bright red and, or something like that. So it's not like you're seeing all of the objects on a shelf, but there would be some that would stand out or things like that. So that's for me, on it. And could you, I think that there are some workshops on it. It would be something I would love to actually,
this is one thing that we're planning on. So yeah, Shafi, if you are interested, we will keep you posted on this. This will be one of our either classes or events that Kathy and I are working on and creating. If you remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago that we said we were launching something. So that's actually part of it. So if you do want to take a workshop with us, I think that would be awesome. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of fun because we're really going to be working, not from a place of, this is the Two of Swords, this is what it means, blah, blah. It's going to be, it's going to be a little different. But you know what? Here's the thing. You're going to have to work. All right. It's not going to be one of those classes where you're not going to have the opportunity to practice or demonstrate. This is going to be like, boom, boom, boom. You're going to be right in it, I think. And
we'll have little things set up for you to be able to observe when you astral travel and do some little tests and stuff. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. So these are going to be like, hardcore. You're right into it. Off we go. And we want, and
throwing you in the deep end.
Throwing you in the deep. And here's the thing. I think people have to really realize too, is that everybody's abilities are going to be so different. And I mean, that's one of the things that, we'll talk about. Like Brandon and I have very similar abilities. We see things, but we also see and feel things in different ways. And some people, are just, some people can see spirits, boom, 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 all the time. That's all they see. But, if you were to ask them something else, on a more psychic level, not a mediumship level, they're going to tell you straight out, look, I'm not a psychic. I am not a psychic. I have no predictions. I can't see that type of energy. I only work with this. And that's okay. Everybody's going to discover what it is.
Yeah, know your limits, know your abilities.
Yeah, yeah. And, and how you get those abilities. And I feel like I'm really fortunate in the extent that I have a very wide range. So, and you guys have seen on the show, where all of a sudden I'll be like, oh my God, I got a headache. Like I think that happened once and it belonged to somebody on the show. And, because I could feel their stress. I could feel it coming on. All of a sudden I'll be talking to somebody and I'll be like, does your back hurt? Because this isn't my pain. I know this isn't my pain because I have no reason to have my back hurt. So this isn't mine. It's got to be yours. It's got to be somebody around that. And a lot of times that will happen too. So, but a lot of times too, is what people don't realize is that as they're learning one ability, more start to open. And some people get so wrapped around, yeah, but I can't do this and I can't do that. And I want to do this and I want to do that. Why don't we just learn one at a time? Because as you're learning one more, suddenly you're going to show up, or they may show up or they may not show up, right? Like that's, completely how it is. Yeah.
That's how you're able to answer these questions of like, what are my lover's intentions and when is this going to happen or when is this coming about? People don't understand that it's not always just like a one answer. It's a utilization of various abilities to be able to tap in and hone in on what exactly you're looking for. And that kind of skill comes with time. That comes with time and understanding and opening yourself up over how many years, Kathy? I mean, how many years has it been for you? It's been a long time for me. It's been over a decade.
Long time. I'm going to be honest, when I was a kid and probably into teenage years, I was a lot more open, but I never called it, to me, I was normal, right? I was normal. I thought I was perfectly normal. I thought you guys were weird, right? Because for me, I couldn't figure out how do you not know who's on the phone? The phone is telling me. The phone is telling me who's calling. Like, how do you guys not know this, you dum-dums? Like it's so clear. Hello, and I couldn't. It was very skewed. It was like I was like, I don't understand how you guys not know this. How do you not see this person's intentions? How are you not seeing, all of this stuff? And so. You're kind of like, I remember this is a funny story. You guys are going to laugh. Okay. So, back in the day, we didn't have weed. We had hash, right? And I was completely baked and I don't know how old I was, probably 17, 18 years old or something. And we weren't driving. I must have been about 16, 17 because I didn't have a car then. And we were on the bus. And I remember very, very clearly having the best conversation. There was a man in front of me. He was this, black man. he reminded me of like, this was like the 80s, late 80s, early 90s or whatever. And he was so cool. And him and I were having this fantastic conversation. And I remember this conversation going on for a long time. Meanwhile, my friends are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, how come you guys aren't being nice to this guy? Like, I couldn't understand. How come you're not being nice to him? Because I'm having the best conversation. And they kind of just let me be, took me home, probably let me sleep off, whatever it was. And but I remember this conversation clearly. But then I had friends later on that would say, we love taking you to parties because you're the one like that's talking to something. Or people would always take me to parties, not because I wasn't, just great to have at parties, because I was, of course, in my mind. But if I got up to leave a party, people would leave with me. Like literally they would get up and start going. And they said, why do you think that we always, like, if you left a party, this was years later, talking to my friends, they'd be like, how come you think, like, why do you think that everybody would leave a party when you left? And I was like, because I'm the life of the party and nobody wanted to be without me. And they're like, yeah, no. It was like, because if you left the party, we knew that something was about to happen. So either the cops were about to show up, there was going to be a fight, there was going to be trouble of some sort. And I would just literally like, I remember doing that so clear. It'd just be like, I want to go home now. That's it. And I would just make a decision to go home. I would get up and find my way home. And that was the end of it. I would just literally walk out the door. And so people were always like, here I thought I was like so popular, which I suppose, to some degree you are, but you know what I mean? Like but people were watching, and it's like, if she leaves, you go. Like that was it. But then you have kids and, you start to become, the soccer mom, PTA mom, and all of that stuff. And you don't really have a time for any of this. And you don't have, it's not so much about time because your senses are always open, but you don't have it's not your focus. You're just kind of doing mom things. You're changing diapers and, making sure your kid makes it to school and making sure they're not taking a shoe for lunch and whatever it was that you're trying to do. But it wasn't until my son was born that all of a sudden things just started really clicking. And as soon as I kind of opened up and said, look, this is what I want to do, I know that I have to go back into this because all of these things, we were living in a really super haunted house. My daughters were showing abilities. My son was definitely showing abilities. And it was time. It was like everything was kind of coming at me saying, it is time. And it is, and my son was just little at the time. And that's where all of these people started coming forward. Like I said, mentors, places that, joining the Edmonton Paranormal Society, that was just so random. But it came right to me, but it was from that place of being still. And so when you're in that place of being still and allowing those things to come forward to you, that's when you're really going to see that difference and see that opening and seeing that allowing of all of these things that are not only needed for you, but perhaps are going to advance you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. You never know when it can pop up.
Oh, yeah. Right. And I remember one time I was actually funny because I was really learning about the law of attraction. And of course, as soon as you ask for something, the next thing, I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen to you, your email all of a sudden gets like blown out of like proportion with like spam or, hey, join this course, law of attraction here. And it was like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed with all of this information about this and that and the other thing. And I remember I went to a mediumship. It was like it was like a spiritual church. So basically it was like a meditation group. That was pretty much it. And we were doing a meditation. And one of the ladies that was doing the meditation, she all of a sudden looked at me and she goes, yeah, I'm getting a message for you from your guides. You need to start deleting some of the, like, unsubscribe from all of these emails because you don't need any of this stuff anymore. And I'm like, that is what I need right there. I needed that message right there. It's like, you already know, you don't need to keep reading, just start unscribing from all of this stuff. And I was like, okay. Yeah. How did your opening happen, Brandon?
Oh, my awakening, that was really interesting. I was at a very low point in my life, where I kind of thought I was losing out on a lot of things. And I had no idea really what was going to happen, what I was going to do, where my life was going to go. And then all of a sudden I was with a friend, and we actually had, but it was very similar to yours. We had smoked as well. And I hit the scan radio button because I'm like, okay, just hit the scan. Let's see, what radio station comes up. And all of a sudden, the weirdest sound started coming from my radio, my stereo. And I didn't know what it was. And I clicked stop really quick. And it was this song. And it's about 34 minutes long. And it's called, for those of you that are listening, you actually all might enjoy this because I still listen to this song to this day. It's incredibly meditative. It will literally take you out of your body. It's called Approaching Silence by David Sylvian. It is so amazing. I think you all are really, really going to like it. It's like this whole soundscape thing. And there's this I'm not going to spoil any of it, but I hit that song. It did something to me. It triggered me in a really interesting way. And then all of a sudden I went through this portal, this wormhole, and I was dumped out the one end and ended up in this whole strange realm where all this information was being fed to me. And then I flew back into my body. It felt so intense. And I had all this insight that I really didn't previously have before. And it was Spirit showing me, hey, you're already fine-tuned for all this. Now here's that breakthrough. Mm-hmm. Here's the breakthrough. Now good luck.
Good luck. See ya. We're done with that.
But it was an incredible experience. And ever since then, it was from that moment, once I acknowledged and recognized and had this understanding of reality, all these incredibly divine, harmonious synchronizations kept happening. That's when I saw all the numbers, and I would think of something and it would literally pop up right in front of me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, something is going on. This is a good thing. This is real. I'm deeply connected to my body and to reality and the outside world in such a way that I've never seen before. And it was this total alignment. I'm convinced that my awakening was an alignment.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and it's definitely about alignment, right? As soon as you're starting to align with all of the things that are going on around you, but again, from that place of stillness, that's where you really start getting shown so much. It's crazy. Yeah. I had one mentor, and it was this lady's boyfriend, the one I had talked about. It was her boyfriend, and the three of us would go, to different places around the city, and he knew a lot of the city. He knew all of the haunted spots, I guess, or background of a lot of these places. And he would take me there, and he'd be like, okay, what do you see? Not right now, but what do you like? Just close your eyes, go into yourself, and what are you seeing? And I would start describing stuff, and he's like, okay, you're being too surface. I'd be like, what do you mean? Nope, go deeper. He'd make me go deeper. It was go. And the next thing, it was almost we were talking about, it was astral traveling. It was all of a sudden there, and it was you were in a different time and a different place, and you could see how people walked and talked, and it, this was the one I'm speaking of, the incident that I'm talking about. It was early, 19th century sort of era. and it was just wild, everything that I could pick up. And he was like, you're like right on, like this is exactly what it was that you're picking up on. And it had to do with like a homicide, and it was pretty crazy. And he knew the incidents, like the whole details of it, which I didn't know. And so he was able to do that validation or that confirmation for me. So it was pretty crazy, but it was like that going deeper, you know? And Jay wants to know if you could put the song in the chat. That would be Approaching Silence. Okay. Yeah.
It's incredible. There's a sound in there that some of y'all, I don't know if you're into like the whole ASMR thing or listening to like sounds. Like, I mean, I have such a strange sense for it. Like like I said last week, I watched those cutting soap videos just because of the sound that they make. It's so incredibly stimulating to my brain. But there's this one sound where it sounds like a marble going around like this wooden circle of some kind. And it does something to your brain, you guys. It's so incredible. And there's like this really beautiful, like almost euphoric hum that goes on in this background, and then there's this haunting moment. Oh my God, I don't want to give too much away, but it is it is incredible. I highly recommend. Yeah, go get your hash, get your whatever, get your edibles, pop those bad boys in, and then listen to this song. I am telling you, you will like experience being out of body. It's incredible.
That's pretty cool. That is so cool.
It's on Apple Music for those of you that do have iPhone. It is on Apple Music.
Okay. That is so cool. I'm gonna listen to it. I don't know.
It's so good. I think you might like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got this weird chants stuff. There's like subliminal things in there too. It really was an inspiration for my track that I did for my hypnotherapy track that I did to help heal emotions. It was a big inspiration to be able to make music in that way. Granted, mine's a little bit longer than his. Mine's like 45 minutes. This is only 34 minutes, but still.
Yeah. You guys, if you haven't checked out Brandon's hypnosis, you have to. It's pretty cool. It's a very, very good hypnosis. Even though I always fall asleep, that's okay. not because of Brandon. I just fall asleep because when I'm listening to hypnosis, I'm done anyway. So I do have that warning on there that it will induce sleep 100%, but it works on you on a subliminal and subconscious level. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I will say that it has like 3 acts. It was very carefully constructed and channeled, so it's a lot of fun. I'm making more though, so don't worry, everybody. I'm making more.
So I'm thinking maybe we should open up the chat or the readings. I just wanted to I'll go through the rules. All right. So
the rules. Wait for the sound of the bell, y'all.
Yeah. Wait for the sound of the bell. So first of all, you have to be subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to give the same spiel that I give every week. Please don't subscribe and unsubscribe because it really does screw up the YouTube algorithms. Okay. So not only does it screw it up kind of for me because it makes it look like, you're here, you're gone, you're here, you're gone. There's a karmic interference in there too. So just be aware. All right. For yourself, right? There is, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're just getting something for free and all we're asking for is a like, stay liked, just stay subscribed, stay in that area, because when you're unsubscribing, it really is a karmic issue for yourself. And how it appears, don't know. That's not up for me. We do not read on health or, we can't tell you your health issues, that sort of thing. No legal issues. We try not to look into third-party situations. Try to be as, give us some specifics, I guess, to some degree if you feel you need to, or if we may need some, or be aware of the fact that, we may ask some. Also, You have to be in the chat, or we will just move along to the next person. So if you're not staying on and watching and you have submitted a question, we're just going to go straight to the next person. And I think we're only going to be doing, well, probably just a few today, like maybe like up to 10 at the most today. And also too is we are going to be doing, so first of all, if you do wish to donate to my channel, I did put it in the description box. There is a PayPal or a PayMe or PayPal Me or whatever it is. The email address for that is crogers5555@gmail.com. We'll type it into the chat here. If you do wish to donate, donations are always read first. So anybody who's donated, we do read them first. But we are going to be doing a generator. Okay, so Random's going to, Brandon. I haven't done that. Whoa. Is going to be generating the numbers today. So do you want to explain how that works?
So yeah, we'll be working as a lottery here, just to allow everybody an equal chance, whether they're a regular listener or first-time listener, to have a chance at getting a reading here on the channel. They're about 5 minutes long. Obviously, Kathy and I do offer private sessions for around 60 minutes. I do an hour and a half. I'm not sure if Kathy does that, but I know that there's hour sessions that you can purchase on our website. You can find those in the description here. So we'll be doing it as a lottery. Once you type in your question, I'll put it in a list. You'll be assigned a number. I will keep track of who's who and who has what number, but just keep track of your number just so we know. Again, we will be offering other shows in the future, little more private, intimate, where you can kind of go off the rails and ask whatever questions you want. But unfortunately, in order to be able to get to everybody that we can, we have to limit it here. So just work with us in our limitations and boundaries, and we'll help get you some little piece of information, whatever we can, whatever mini readings. So like Kathy said, donations are always honored first. If you do donate, please let one of us know so that we can confirm it and put you right at the top of this list. Otherwise, just we'll work on lottery.
Absolutely.
And when Kathy says the word, I will sound the alarm.
Okay. Did you have any? I think we could actually probably sound the alarm now and start getting people.
All right, the room is officially open, y'all.
I really need one of those. Well, you've got the bell. We also need like a wee or a woo or. I don't know, something. Wee or a woo, I don't know. I'm not, so it doesn't matter. And so you're going to assign people numbers, right?
Yes.
As soon as their questions come in?
Yes, so the questions are coming in.
Okay, cool. If I'm just going to let that generate, I'm going to run to the bathroom like I always need to do before we really get into it. I'll give me 2 seconds. And I don't know if you want to, if you have anything that you want to talk about, this is probably the time, but I'll be right back, guys.
All right, so let me get everybody grooving here. I'll build this list again. I'll assign y'all a number, and then we will choose at random. And depending on how many people are here, we might, we might even have enough time to get to everybody. So let me build this list. At some point, I'm going to want to bring someone else on as moderator, so that way I can focus on doing readings, so Kathy and I can stay focused. So just putting that out there now that Kathy and I have been observing some of you and seeing, whose energy might be receptive to that. But that'll come in the future when we are able to do something like that. So right now, let's see, I'm up to Zainab. Let's see, D-I-D, we've got you here. For those of you that are new here, welcome. If it's your first time, you can let us know here in the chat when we get to you. But I can recognize a few unfamiliar faces. So welcome in. If there are questions about another person, Kathy usually does like to have a point of focus with them. So if that's the case, make sure you're prepared and ready when we do call upon you. So that way, if Kathy has any other points of focus that she wants you to reel in, then we can do that. So just make sure you're listening in for your name. Okay, so we've got, all right, number 2, number 3, 4, 5. We might even be able to get to everybody today, Kathy.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, lottery list. JJ.
All right.
Will.
And make sure you guys that you're subscribed and all of that.
How dare spell check change the spelling of that name?
Well, of course.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I have Zainab in here twice.
So if you guys are asking about another person, could you make sure that they're we have their first name and birth date, please, or at least their zodiac sign, if at all possible, and yours as well. So when we call your name, just make sure to have that ready so that we can, take a look at it.
And then Brian. All right. Alrighty. Perfect. So for those of you listening in, if you are tuned in after or while we are taking other readings, if you're new and coming in, you can still request a reading. Just make sure you type your question in the chat if I don't already have you. And I can still add you to the list. That's why we do it in this lottery style, so that we can give everybody a chance, even if they're just coming on a little bit later than most to get a reading. We give everybody a chance. So if you are listening in now, the room is still open, and we will let you know when we're not taking any more readings. Probably about an hour and 8 minutes or so.
Right.
Our cutoff time. All right. Well, Kathy, if you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So let me just, I'll put the list in the chat so everybody can see their number. Obviously, it was in the order that you were able to submit. So the number, okay, well, that did not paste very clean, but the number is right before your name, just so y'all can tell. All right, so let's do our little random generator. We've got 1 through 6. And let's generate our first one.
All right.
That's going to be lucky number 2. Number 2.
Ooh, Will.
It'll be Will.
All right.
All right. So Will is asking, should I move out, get my own place, or should I stay where I am? I kind of know the answer.
Okay. All right. So Will, I feel like, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of noise around you in some way. I don't know who you live with. I don't know if this is family or roommates or something along that line, but it almost feels as though there's a lot of noise. I feel like a lot of interference in some manner. Does that make sense to you? But I'm also getting, there might be also an issue, maybe perhaps with finances. Is this correct? This is the first thing I'm picking up. So if you can just kind of confirm that for me. I'm getting family, roommate. Okay. I feel like you want to move. To be honest, is what I'm getting. It's more of a not should I move? It's almost like do I I want to move. Yeah, no at work, lockdown. Okay. It feels like, I feel your energy would be cleaner on your own. I guess that's the best way to say it. Your energy would be less fractioned. It feels like it does. It feels like there's a lot of interference around you, or there's a lot of noise around you. I'm going to be honest. I feel like if your finances allow it, this might be the time to do so. It does
Honestly,
yeah, that's what I'm getting. If your finances allow you to do so, it might be the time to do so. Just because I do feel like your energy a little bit fractured, or a little bit discombobulated. I don't know.
That being shown is that it's stunting growth. It's actually not allowing growth to happen. It is creating a stagnancy, or a sense of limbo, honestly, for Will. It's got this vibe of like
not moving
constantly
forward,
meeting friction, and you have to put energy to divert the friction so it doesn't spill over into your own life. And so when you put energy into that, you don't put energy into other things that do want to grow, that do have this continuity that they don't get while things are being stagnant. So it does feel like, even though it doesn't feel like life-threatening or anything, it just feels like it really is creating some kind of impediment on your life.
It's interesting. You know what I get from you, Will? It almost feels like you're trying to bubble yourself constantly, like you're constantly having to have a force field around you all the time. And I don't know whether this is right, conscious or subconscious. Like, it just feels like you're constantly having to, put this field of energy around you regularly. And I don't feel like that's a good place to be. Like, I feel like the people that you're with, I mean, there's caring and all of that, but I mean, they're just being people,
they're not, like,
right?
Bad people.
Yeah, it's just that they're just being people. But it does feel like you're in this place that you want to expand, but you're not being allowed to expand. It's like, here's your energy, here's the bubble, and you can't really allow that bubble to expand because you've got these interferences that are not allowing that expansion. But yet your energy is like, I want to go, but I'm hitting these barriers. So that's what I get. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that that's helped, because I think
when I ask about Will being in a new place, I just keep being shown that there's like a really strong bond that comes through and being in this new place. They do show me a female feminine energy being that bond, but I think it could be detailing several different things. But I think the point is that you will have space, especially energetically, to be able to bring in some more deeper or better fitting connections in your life. It could be that maybe you ended up with those that you live with now out of circumstance, and maybe not exactly choice. But what Spirit keeps detailing here is that in a new place, you have a greater sense of choice, and you'll be able to create bonds that are more harmonious with where you are now. Not, in the past, but where you are now. So I think it is going to be a definite beneficial female roommate. Look at that. That would be good. Good. Perfect. They just keep showing me a feminine female energy, and somebody that a solid bond is able to be had and created. So however that means for you, it feels to be a positive thing for sure, because it feels like it would not stunt your growth.
Yes, as long as the female is stable, right? Like somebody that's not going to be, the party or bringing people home all the time, somebody that you can have that platonic energy with, I guess, if that makes sense. But okay. Currently alone, my roommate is away. Okay. It's interesting. I'm just going to stay with that. I feel like if you feel, it just feels like you're having to bubble all the time, or it feels like this isn't your place, or something along that line. Like you don't feel as comfortable as you would be if you were somewhere else. So I hope that that's helped. Yeah. Okay. It'd be nice to have quiet at home. Yeah. Well, that's just it, right? Like, if we're not feeling comfortable where we are, we got to be in a place that is going to be, better for us, right? No matter where it is. And here's the interesting thing. I want you to throw that out into the universe, Will, is basically put down a list of what it is that you're looking for, as you're making that determination whether you're going to move or not. Because here's the thing, is a lot of times that will just appear to us, okay? That opportunity, or maybe the finances might suddenly come in. However it is, that's how the universe works. So throw it out there and let it, and again, be in that place of stillness and allowing, and you'll see those changes coming through of what it is that you're seeking. So
absolutely.
Yeah. New place, new energy. Yeah. Thank you.
Good luck, mate. I think definitely start looking for sure.
Yeah.
All right. For those of you that are just joining us, we are still taking your questions. Please submit them in the chat box here in the live chat. And what I'm going to do is place you on our list. When you get put on our list, you get assigned a number. We will be generating a number as if it's a lottery. And when your number is called, that means we'll be able to answer your questions. So make sure you hang in there, submit your questions in the chat, and that will put you on the list.
And make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. That is important. You have to be subscribed, and please don't do the subscribe and unsubscribe once you get the reading.
Just stay subscribed.
Just stay subscribed, you guys.
Maintain right. Subscription. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not like you spam. It's not like you put any bad content out. It's all good content. It's all towards the good of all.
Exactly.
So. All right. We're ready for the next one.
You're so welcome, Will. Thank you.
All right. So let's see. That is going to be lucky number 3.
Oh, yay.
Number 3 is Emily.
Okay.
Emily would like to know, may I have an energy update between Mr. Capricorn and I? Haven't done a check-in in a while. His BD is in 2 days, so I'm feeling energetically pulled to him. Emily says his name is Shane.
Okay. Okay, the first thing I'm getting is just give me a sec, Emily. I feel like I really feel like there's still a little bit of blockage coming from his side. I don't feel like this is blockage particularly towards you. I almost feel like a sense of solitary, or him wanting to be in a place of contemplation. It feels like a very solo type of energy that I'm getting from him. I feel that if, as his birthday is coming, like in the next couple of days, I feel it's safe. To send out a happy birthday. Okay. But I'm going to be honest with you. I do feel that he might respond, but I want you have to send this from a place of non-ego. That's exactly what I'm feeling. If you're expecting a response, or if you're in a place of, I'm only sending happy birthday to him because I want that response, or I want to open doors, that might be a disappointment, not because of the fact that there's not that caring. I just feel like he's really receiving a lot of information right now on, I'm going to call it spiritual information, but I don't know if he recognizes it as spiritual information. But I'm getting a lot of downloads coming towards him right now, and it feels like a very solo energy, even if he's with other people, like friends and family. I don't mean other people like, another person, like, a romantic interest in any way, because there's not that. But it feels like he's very cocooned or sheltered or something along that line. I hope that makes, he's a very spiritual person. Okay, so he is. That's good, because I feel like he's receiving a lot of downloads right now. Like that's what I keep getting, a lot of downloads, a lot of everything like that. And so this is not a time to come at him in a place of, like I said, ego. If you're going to send, here's the thing. I'm going to turn this on to myself for a second. I've really started, with friends, people I care about, whatever, when we remove that ego and we're just coming from a place of love and unconditional love and no expectation, the energy that flows through is going to be pure. It is going to be pure energy, whether it is something that we want to hear, or maybe something that we don't want to hear. We know that it's coming from a place of purity. And this is how you have to send that out. And I feel that through that sending out from that place of purity, there's going to be that energetic shift that you've been sort of waiting for, that energetic change. I do feel he is going through a place. This is what I'm getting. He's going through a place where he's releasing a lot of his own ego as well, which is why all of these downloads are coming through. Now, even though he's a very spiritual person, I do feel that there is a blockage of some sort of, again, when we talk about ego, it doesn't mean that he's being selfish or anything like that. It's just, I feel like there's some sort of set things with him that he's not willing to really truly expand on, and he's getting pushed to expand on those spiritual presets that he may have had within himself. And I feel like he's kind of going through a bit of a shock process to some degree. So again, even if he's around others or whatever, there's a very solo energy about him, because he's starting to, it's like if somebody says something, he's starting to see it in a different way. He's starting to really integrate a lot of the downloads that are coming through. So I hope that helps. I feel like this is a very, very positive step forward for the two of you, though, because of the fact that he is going through this process. And as you're staying in that place of that unconditional love towards him, that is opening up those channels, and you're really going to start to see that movement at some point here fairly soon. So I hope that's what I have to say. So I hope that helps. And be happy for him, but be happy for you too. And that's okay.
Yes.
Right? It's okay to be happy for you too, because I do see that as he's growing, you're growing, as you're growing, he's growing. This is that yin yang energy, right? And this is what happens when we're connected to that soul, especially on that romantic level. As we grow, so do they. And as they grow, so do we. And you're going to really start seeing that integration that's meant to happen. But it is a process, okay? So
I think Kathy pretty much covered everything here, Emily. The one thing that I feel, just when I specifically tap into the energy between you and Shane, is there is this, and I remember connecting with this before, there is something about this spiritual opening that happens between the two of you. Mm-hmm. And what Spirit keeps showing me right now is that there is this energy of things wanting to unlock, to be playful, to not only, share in good physical times, being human and interacting in the physical, but also it's like your souls, they want to play with each other, they want to engage in this way. Mm-hmm. And that's what Spirit keeps showing me is opening up right now, is this kind of energy. That's something that it feels like the both of you want that to be grounded in some way, like being one of your roots to the tree that is your connection. Do you know what I mean? That feels like an important component to your two connection together. And so I can tell you right now that the both of you are feeling this sense of, I guess, spiritual lightness. There is this lightness, there is this play. The souls want to converge and play and share in a nice sense of harmony. What is to come is I do feel like there is going to be some emotions that kind of come up. either from a, unexpected or unknown place. Spirit isn't too specific on this right now, and I don't know if I have enough time to tap into that. But I think the main thing to take away here is that you two are connected on a couple different levels, and I think what you've been waiting for is the physical presence of things to fall in. But is this the person that's Mr. Popular? Is this?
I think it is.
Is that who this is? Because I remember this energy. I remember this energy from him, and I just remember him feeling pulled in so many different directions. I remember talking about this timing within January of something kind of opening up and happening, but I don't specifically remember what that was because I don't listen. I don't specifically try to remember any past readings that I give because I like to tap into energy fresh and in the moment.
Well,
and that way, when something does come out again, it's a great validation. It's
interesting because, like I said, even though he may be with people, okay, he may be with his friends, he may be with his family, you might, if you're on social media, you might see that happening and going, well, what does she mean he's being solo? He's out with this person, he's out with this person, he's partying, he's doing this, he's doing that, whatever it is that he does. That's not consequential. That has nothing to do with it. It literally is just that energy of, it's like he might even be backing away from some people very quickly here. Might even be backing away from people that aren't resonating with these downloads that are coming through. So I feel, it's interesting, Emily. Actually, when I'd seen your name, I felt like pulling a card. This was earlier, and I actually got the Knight of Pentacles. So for me, the Knight of Pentacles, this is very much a card of not only you being guided by your spirit guides and him being guided. This is a very guided relationship, but also that work is so necessary. And the Knight of Pentacles is very slow energy, but every step is progress, and it's steady and it's stable and it's all needed and it's all necessary and it's all integrating. So just stay in that energy and you'll see as you go forward. Okay. So I hope that's helped.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emily. All right, so we've got some new additions here.
Yay! Hello, Lightwork, and I saw that we have, I think Jason was one, and
Jason, Lightwork.
Nice.
All right, so we've got
Thanks
you
for joining.
all on the list here.
All right. Perfect.
All right, so next up is going to be... Oh, it's 5:12. It's my birthday minute. Okay, we've got number one.
JJ. All right.
JJ. All right, love. So let's see. With JJ, how will things go if I go on a trip in March? Anything Spirit wants me to know about it?
Oh, you're supposed to go. Okay, JJ, this is interesting. I saw right away, and I don't know if you've already planned this trip or if this even has anything to do with anything. The first thing I literally saw though was like, I don't know if it's particularly tropical. It might be tropical, but I'm really feeling like a lot of, like palm trees or some sort of, I'm not going to say like, I don't know if I'm particularly seeing sand and water and all of that. Okay. I'm actually feeling almost more, God, I want to really use the word jungle, even though you're probably not going to a jungle, but I don't know if that makes any sense. But what I am getting is it might be just the energy of all of this that is coming through in some way, because it feels very freeing, like you are supposed to go. This is what I'm getting right away. You are supposed to go. I was actually shown going, like, and I feel like that's why I'm seeing this expansion. Oh, Dubai and Turkey. There we go. Okay. So this could be why yes, you need to go. This is what I'm saying. I feel like this is absolutely necessary for you. I'm getting, there is some revelation that's going to be coming to you once you go, like huge and massive. And it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be life altering or life changing, but it is going to definitely open up a lot of paths for you, or open up a path for you. You absolutely have to go. Okay.
I understand that anxiety, JJ. I see exactly what you're talking about here, because when I tap into the energy of it, what Spirit keeps showing me is that there is this unsureness around the entire trip. They keep showing me this feeling of things not feeling quite secure, either for yourself or in the environments that you'll be around, and that there might be a little bit of either quote unquote rule bending, or a little bit of, mixed chaos among these things. They just keep showing me that the foundation isn't as secure as it normally feels. And I do feel like these are things that are out of your control. And I think that you're honestly just tapping into that energy. And I think you're identifying with it as if it was your own, but it's not. Just know that the anxiety that I can feel you picking up on, it is not anything that has to do with you. It will be the environments that you have to either travel through or towards. But the destination itself feels very, very good. I'm feeling quite an emotional abundance, actually. An emotional abundance that's not like a negative thing, like feeling sad or depressed or anything like that. But it's an emotional wonder almost. You know, when you cry at happy things too, like it's got that kind of vibe to it, where it has an impactful or resonating impact, really, is the biggest thing. I think the one thing Spirit shows me is that it kind of creates this question within you. And like Kathy was saying, it feels like that there's something that you're supposed to engage with or learn or provoke in some way. And what I keep being shown is that there is this openness that this trip creates within you. And that feels to be a really important part of your own self, your character, your psyche, your soul's expression in this human body of what you're supposed to go through. And it feels like it adds to this. I wouldn't, let's see. The plane, you're getting anxiety about the plane. Well, honestly, from what I've heard, traveling isn't super bad. Like, you get a lot of space right now on the planes since they're not like totally full or anything. I haven't flown during the pandemic, so I don't know. I can't attest to that. But I have heard a lot of people getting their own rows and stuff. I honestly feel like the plane would be pretty easy to handle. Maybe there's different measures at the airport with how you can travel. I know a lot. Kathy and I were talking about this recently, about traveling and how in the future, what if we do need like vaccination or health passports in order to be able to travel? And one thing that we had said is we should probably travel sooner rather than later if it does become restricted. So I think honestly what we're just picking up on is the fact that, and what you're picking up on too, is the fact that things are still kind of up in limbo. They're in a bit of a void. People aren't really sure what to do or how to go about this. And so it may not just be as composed as things normally are. Are you in the US, JJ, or are you elsewhere? North America, Canada, or a different country? Because I know probably traveling overseas might be a little bit different. But I don't know. I don't know what it's like traveling within borders in Europe and stuff like that.
She's in Canada.
Oh, Canada. Okay. So yeah, it might be a little more difficult to cross over the sea. But honestly, I think just follow all of the guides. There really is no negative that I'm feeling except for that uncertainty with the roots of the foundation, which has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with all the regiments that are in place for travel,
the only thing
going through the checkpoints and all that kind of stuff.
The only thing I'm really getting, JJ, is that I do feel that there's this part of anxiety that's coming through for you, like part of this anxious, because sometimes when we're about to go through a shift within our own soul, energy, okay, like I said, I kept feeling like there's a reason that you need to go. There's a reason why this is going to be very important for you, some sort of evolution, revelation, something along that line. So as you're going through this, I feel like there is a little bit of that, again, that solar plexus, right, that we need to release. What is it, the block? What is the barrier? And I feel like you just need to sort of take that step forward and allow the integration to happen without the fear behind it. And that might help as you're going through this process. Don't pay attention, like, don't look for what it's going to be. Just allow and stay in that place of allowing what it is supposed to be. That's what I get. It's like you're being drawn here for a reason. Allow that to happen. So I hope that that's helped.
Any advice to calm the anxiousness?
Yeah.
Can you, I don't know if I can say this. Can I say this on air? Bring an edible to the airport? Can I say that? I don't know. Are you allowed to do that in Canada?
I don't even know if we're allowed that. I think they check us actually, like if we had, unless she took it ahead of time, because I think we have like sniffer dogs and all kinds of security, and Canada is like
They're pretty locked down.
Like a lockdown,
Yeah.
freaking Soviet state or some crap right now. It's ridiculous. I would literally do the breathing. I would do the breathing, like that 4 in, 4 out.
There are things specifically, and I actually was going to make this as well. Dang it! Maybe I should make one specially for you, JJ. Where I want to do like an airplane hypnosis, where you listen to the track, and I wanted to create it so where it felt like it was a 5-minute trip, even if it was like 4 or 5 hours, to like put you in the hypnotic state so that it's just like, okay, that was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Something that kind of puts you into a state of sleep or relaxation. But there are hypnosis things out there. There's a lot of beautiful music things to listen to. Honestly, what I do is I just get lost in a book or a movie and just let myself get lost in that moment.
Yeah. Bring something that will, help with that, and just do the breathing and all of that. I really do. I feel like you are supposed to go. You are supposed to go. And that was immediately what I saw right away.
It's funny JJ says that, because I've been drawn to Turkey a lot. I have a lot of people that subscribe and click on my page and work with me from Turkey. And there's something that calls my soul there. I'm just as intrigued. So I'm really curious, JJ, what you're feeling or experiencing about that. And if and when you do go, I'm excited to hear all about that, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Brianna, thank you so much for liking and subbing. Definitely we will put you on the list. And hello, Denise.
I've got you,
how are you? And Denise, we'll put you on the list too. Don't worry. Okay.
All right. So let me just
okay. I think after Denise, I think we should probably close the readings up. Well, because we'll be.
Well, I'm still. So this is why we're doing it different, Kathy. So we can keep adding people, right? And then we do the lottery list, and then we go till we're out of time, right?
Okay. Perfect.
So I thought that was why we could do this. So
okay, let's do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Because I want to give our newcomers a chance. I mean, I love our regulars, but they're so quick, and they can take up every spot, which I love, and that's why we're creating separate shows for our regulars too, that we can do all sorts of fun stuff with. Okay, so I've got Brianna here, and now Denise. All right, so the list is updated. And let me just make sure I put
and you're so welcome,
generator. JJ. All right, and next up is going to be number 7.
Number 7, Jason. All right. Hello, Jason. So we'll just confirm that Jason is still here, I guess.
There we are.
Okay.
All right. So Jason would like to know, do you pick up on how or when I will purchase a house in the next 2 months? Is the energy coming through for it?
Okay, Jason, I actually, I'm going to be honest with you. The very first word that I heard was April. Well, I guess that's kind of 2 months. It's a little bit closer to 3. I immediately I heard the word April, as even before Brandon finished the question. So I feel like April might be. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if that's a moving date. It could be
or
a closing or something along that line. I just feel April is. That's the first thing. And even trying to expand past that, I just keep getting told April. So it almost feels, I feel like you have to definitely continue the search, continue what you're doing. I almost feel like the perfect one is going to be shown to you. And that might be why there is that little bit of a, April. Okay, instead of the next 2 months. Again, that could technically kind of be around 2 months. It depends. But I feel like that could be a closing date. It might be a moving date, something along that line. It could be the purchase date. But I'm really hearing April.
That really feels solid, Kathy. It's hitting my gut as well.
Well, it's funny because it was like, even before you finished the question, I was like, tell him April. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm just going to go with that. April. All right. So, yeah.
I don't know why, Jason, but the market around you feels very fickle. It kind of feels like a bit of like a hit and miss type of energy, where things are withheld, like information is like held back or withheld about certain places or properties or the way that the house is. And then I feel like Spirit specifically keeps showing me this instance where you have changed your mind. And if you haven't got there yet, then this is likely what is to come. But they keep showing me this feeling of like you changing your mind and then all of a sudden being led to the right house, but then something falling through again. And so you're left back at square one. So it feels like, okay, so things are going fast. Okay, so it is fluctuating, or at least, very quickly moving. Unforgiving really feels like it's the energy there. I think Kathy is absolutely spot on there with April. Definitely, I think stay looking. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I also keep being shown is to work with the moon. It keeps showing me working with the moon. So the first things that come into my mind are you working with like the new moon and the full moon. Full moon is always the time to let go, release, disconnect from things that are no longer working for you or serving you. So in the event of looking for a house, really allow any detachments to take place that you feel like you need to have. If you have your ideas, strict on one thing, but you need to be a little bit more malleable, that's the time to let those things go. But the new moon is when we plant the seeds. New moon is when we plant seeds for what we do want. And when we work with the lunar cycles, I think it's honestly, well, one, it helps you to manifest things 100%. But two, it really is a good way to work with the moon during like housing, because the moon associates to the zodiac sign Cancer, and Cancer is all about that home, protection, defense. That's our barrier from the outside world, is our home. So working with the moon will really be able to help in that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Your abilities turn off and on at random. Honestly, working with the moon is not only going to help you with your with moving and finding the right house, but it will help your abilities too. I mean, Kathy's got that moon in Pisces. She knows all about that energy and how it can work for you.
Oh yeah. I feel like too is like, and this might also have to do with why, April is coming through. It just feels like you're going to know, like if you're getting led to, to look at something or to put that offer in, whatever, just keep following that instinct, because right now everything is just so, I literally am hearing the words, he will know, and April. That was, so keep following those instincts.
Are you looking for water in your yard, Jason? like water in the backyard or something, like somewhere around water. I just keep feeling drawn to like, I keep seeing this vision of this like stream or river or something that just keeps going through the ends. I don't know. There seems to be something to that. It could just be an energy thing, but I keep feeling and seeing water being close to the place. Oh, you love water. Okay, perfect. I think it might even hit you at a gut level if you find a place that has water around it or near it. Oh, okay. East Coast. Okay.
There you go.
So I think keep that in mind as well. But if anything, if not anything else, be like water, right? Be flowing.
Go with flow.
Change. Be malleable. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I hope that's helped,
good
Jason.
luck, Jason.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. All right. Next up, we got about 30 minutes left. Next up is going to be lucky number 9. Number 9.
Brianna. All right. Well, first of all, welcome to the channel, Brianna. Nice to have you. And what was Brianna's
Brianna would like to know, should I join?
Oh, I'm glad, Jason. Thank you so much. Sorry, Brad, I didn't mean to. Thank you so much for watching us. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much, Jason. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, Brianna would like to know, my question is, should I join a dating app or wait for someone to come towards me?
Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm getting right off the bat. Okay. So Brianna, what I'm getting. Okay, just give me a second, actually, because now the energy is changing a little bit. I don't feel, okay, here's the interesting thing. I don't feel that you're in a place yet, quite yet, for the dating app, which is really interesting. I feel like you want that partnership, you want to be able to meet somebody, but there is this hesitation in regards to the dating app. I almost feel like it's there's this hesitation. I feel like it's not quite yet. Like you're not quite ready. I feel like there's a hesitation in regards to you're not sure if you're ready to deal with all the crap that comes from a dating app, I guess, if that makes any sense. What I'm getting here is I feel it would be safe, but not yet. And when I talk about being safe, it doesn't mean about personal safety or, mental health or anything like that. It's more of the, am I ready for the crap that's going to be coming off of technically a dating site? That's what I'm getting. I almost feel like, let this be for a little bit. I don't feel this is the right time. Maybe not particularly for the app. I feel it's almost like not quite the time for you. I feel like there is going to be some sort of personal connection that is going to be coming towards you in a way you may or may not recognize it, is what I keep hearing. It almost feels like there's this person that is coming forward, but you may not be quite in the place of seeing the potential with this person. So I feel like you need to just, it's interesting. I keep hearing around March. It's almost like you need to just sort of let this be for right now. I feel like this present showing up, and this is somebody who could really open you up. I'm not saying don't go on the dating app. I just don't feel like you're quite ready for the dating app. And again, it's not because of anything of within you, or you're not ready to date, or you're not ready for a relationship. I'm not really getting any, flags about that. I'm just getting like, I just don't know if I can deal with that heavy energy that comes from dating apps. That's what I'm getting.
That's exactly it.
Right.
When I asked Spirit about Brianna and her being on that dating app and just that energy, they keep showing me that it is going to be an energy drain. The one thing they specifically show me is that it's going to take the fun out of connecting.
Right.
It's going to take this is going to be a weird sentence and statement, and I'm sorry, Brianna, and I am going to get a little deep here for a moment. So if you want me to stop talking about things, just tell me, and I will shut up.
I'll just hang up.
Click. Don't you miss when you could slam phones? Like,
right? Really show that anger.
So what they keep showing me is that being on the dating app would somehow take away your innocence.
Yeah.
They keep showing me that it forces you into a state of mind that allows this or kind of forces and imposes this way of thinking and being that is not normal to you. And that's why it kind of ends up being an energy drain, because it forces you to be somebody who you don't feel like you are. And it then just creates other frustrations in you, and then you get even more frustrated that you keep finding inauthentic people. And when I ask about you waiting for somebody, in person, this absolutely feels like, to me, the way to go. It feels like for you, there needs to be an organic sense of connection. And meeting online, it imposes other things, with these dating apps, things that I just don't feel that you're comfortable with, like Kathy was saying as well. The other thing that I keep being shown, and this is where it kind of gets a little bit deep, is that there is, I don't know all that you have been through, Brianna, in your life, but Spirit is showing me that there is a vulnerability or maybe even a wound with personal sense of self-worth, and the Spirit just keeps wanting you to know how beautiful you are. And I don't know why that feels so important, but they just want you to keep knowing this and really solidifying it for yourself. And being on the dating apps may compromise this healing and this learning. And so just based on these things, I would just stay away from the dating apps for right now.
Yeah,
unless you want to keep it superficial and just be in that state of mind, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong.
I just don't feel any authenticity coming from the dating app is what I'm getting. And I know people that have met people off of dating apps and they're, they're happy, whatever. But I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of, they're not even frogs that you have to kiss. Like literally, it's a lot of slugs that you got to crawl through to even get a breath of air. And it's ridiculous. And there are people that can take that energy and they're okay with it. Here's what I'm really getting also within that is you're not inauthentic. You're not a person of surface level. You want that deep. You want that vulnerability from somebody else, but a genuine vulnerability, not the sympathy type of vulnerability, somebody who's going to play upon your sympathy or play upon. And I'm really getting, Brianna, here is that there is a sense that you're very empathic, very intuitive. And I feel like as you're, it's almost like I'm getting shown like going on to the dating app just literally makes you shrivel. You have to
pull your energy down to that level.
Yeah. And I just feel like this is not the time. But I do want you to be aware and open for this person that I do feel showing up. And again, you may not recognize them. Huh? What? Did something happen? Hello? Did you just?
I'm here.
Oh, what was the heck was that? I just heard you screaming or something.
I had to switch my headphones.
I was like, did something just happen? Like,
so I have to oscillate. I have to go back and forth between one earbud and the other.
Okay.
Because the batteries were not.
I was like, is this a 911 thing? Like, what do I have to do here? I'm not sure what has happened.
Emergency.
But yeah, I feel like just stay open for the next little bit and allow this energy to come through. So I hope that that's helped.
Yeah. If you want to bring your energy level down, hop on the dating sites, but know that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Know that you don't have to put yourself in that space just to be able to date. So
yeah. You're so
Let
welcome.
people come to you, right? I think that's one thing, you know, I'll just make a comment about dating. And I see people do it often because I have done it myself. And it's that I was, you know, such a hopeful or hopeless, maybe romantic in my younger years, that I would 100% bring myself down to people's level that I felt, you know, love with and wanted to be loved by. And I would bring myself down to them so that I could, you know, in my own eyes, be valuable and perceived as valuable to be loved. And that's not the way to have a successful relationship. It's just not. You have to be who you are, always, 100%, all the time, authentic, and allow that to enter, that energy to be the beacon, you know, the lighthouse, if you will, to show, you know, the other people, okay, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. You can come here if you are on that level too. To force yourself to acquiesce to somebody else's level.
You know, here's the thing, when we're hiding ourselves, we're not allowing true unconditional love, right? When we're in a place of hiding, you know, I'd rather hear what somebody completely has to say. Open it up, spit it out. Let me hear it. Let me absorb it. Let me make my own decisions. And you know what? That unconditional love isn't going to change because of minute things, or even things that maybe you're feeling bad about yourself for. You know, everybody changes, everybody grows. It's really all about the here and now, but looking at it from that place of unconditional love and allowing. We know those red flags. We just have to pick up on them. And, you know, when something's not jiving with us, we have to follow that too. But we have to also be in that place of allowing us to be who we are, and I'll have to allow the person to be who they genuinely are as well. And that's where a lot of people get caught up into, you know, the whole dating thing, right?
Exactly. And that's why Kathy and I are saying, you know, we're not saying that dating apps are bad, not in the slightest. We're specifically speaking on Brianna, her current energy, where she is now within herself, and how it's going to be for her. It might be different for somebody else, you know, and the next person that we tap into, if they ask the same question, it could be totally different. This is specifically about Brianna, you know, and where her energy is. So we're not saying that they're all bad. It's just the time and place, and, you know, everything else. We're looking into all of it at once.
Yeah. So I hope that's helped, Brianna. And and thanks again for joining. Thanks for subscribing and everything. So it's great to have you.
Yes, definitely good to have you here.
All
right. Next up, we've got number 6.
Who? Okay, is Miss.
Number 6 is Brian.
All
Brian, I think, is the first timer here.
Okay. What would Brian like to know?
From Brianna to Brian.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so Brian would like to know, do you pick up any vibes from objects? He says, I picked up a World War II wakizashi sword. I think I'm saying that right, wakizashi. In Yogyakarta, Indonesia. There's been a few strange things happening around the house, thumps, bangs, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, okay. Again, even really before Brandon was able to finish, I was already picking up something. So I'm getting, it's interesting. I'm really getting a intertwining energy that's going on here. It's actually kind of bizarre. So the first thing I'm getting shown is somebody who almost looks like a genie, but it's not the djinn. Okay, I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to go in, but I'm like wearing those type of pants, like those type of genie pants or something like that. But then that image switches almost to a military style. It feels like the same person, but they're like glitch. Like it's like, I feel like their energy isn't completely stable in that on their spirit self might be glitching to some degree. So what I'm getting is, you know, they're sort of appearing one way, and then they really don't know like who exactly completely they are at this point. what I feel like this could be easily taken care of. So I do feel like there is something attached to the object, which is why I'm getting this gentleman that's coming in, and he's showing me again like two different almost outfits, I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't even know what kind of pants that they wear in Indonesia. I don't know, but this is what I'm getting shown. So, I don't even know. I don't know their style of dress or anything like that, but I am getting these two different images. I'm also hearing something about doors. So I don't know if there's doors knocking or slamming or closing or like shifting of some sort. Maybe you can confirm that down below, Brian, because I'm getting something to do with doors. Whether that's happened or not, I'm not sure. I almost feel too, sure. I don't know if sure is that there has been doors, like has doors been, I just feel something about doors. Anyhow, this can be very easily taken care of. I do feel the sword was made in the 14. Oh, that's okay. So that makes sense why I'm seeing him in some sort of like older outfit. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
so
but there's like multiple
It
energies.
might be two different energies, doors banging. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's why I'm seeing this older outfit. Okay, I get it. And used in World War II. Damn, I like that. I mean, I like it because that's pretty cool for me, but I can understand where it would be annoying for you. Sorry. I get excited. Was worse when I lived in the river valley. It might be just that the energy is trying to like get used to things. I moved in the last few years. Okay, so I feel like the best thing to do here, Brian, is you're going to want to get some sort of sage. And sage, or literally just get some sage. I think it will help. I want you to do a cleansing on the house, but this is going to be super important. I've talked about cleansing techniques in the past, and a lot of people really do it in sort of a place that is, kind of, it can draw in more energy. So you want to stay within this realm of what I'm going to explain to you. So when you do the sage, I want you to go room to room, make sure as much of the windows and doors are open as much as possible. Like I know my windows are kind of frozen right now at times, so I can't get them open, but maybe open another window, kind of direct the energy. Just say only peace, love, and prosperity is allowed within this home. That's all you need to say room to room. The reason that it's attacking or not, when I say attacking, it's like when you notice it when you're alone, is simply because of the fact that it knows that you can, the energy is different when you're alone. There's a lot of distracting when, there's other people around, or if there's something else going on. But when you're alone, you have that, your personal empathic abilities are picking up on it. Okay. The other thing that you can really do too, so this is something we used to use for Edmonton Paranormal, is one of the suggestions I had is literally, it's called the notebook. Okay. Get a coiled notebook. What you would want to do is write each incident on a separate page, turn the page, make sure that you have a clean page for each new incident. The reason for this is because it helps clear the mind. So when we write down each incident, so let's say you hear a door. Okay, just as an example, I heard a door, slam at 3:33 p.m. on this day. I was sitting in the living room, Like, write down as much as you can remember off of that. And then what I want you to do is put that notebook somewhere where it's not easily accessible. And the reason for that is that when we have easy access to the notebook, what we tend to do is we pull the notebook out when we hear every noise. Okay. And so we start writing everything down. So, it could be the neighbor, it could be a dog outside. Like we start, our brain goes overactive. So what we want to do is you want to put that notebook where it's not easily accessible. Like don't put it right beside you on the couch or anything like that. Put it on top of a refrigerator in a different room or whatever it is, where you have to literally walk to it, because now your brain is going to start associating or disassociating the normal from the paranormal. So if you're sitting there and you hear a noise, if you have it right beside you, we can easily pick up the notebook, write down the incident. And that's too easy. It's really too easy. When we have to get up and walk into another room and go fetch the notebook, then our brain automatically goes, oh, you know what? I actually think that was literally just my dog thumping his tail against a door somewhere, and I'm perfectly fine. So we automatically are now disassociating the normal from the paranormal, and it puts us into a different state. And what happens is the energy around it, because entities really, whether they're positive, negative, whatever they are, they really work off of our own energy. So if we're in a heightened state, we are going to be heightened, or the entity or whatever it is going to be heightened by our own state of whatever it is that we're feeling. So if we're in a state of fear, they're going to feed off that fear. We're going to get more fear. So we really want to put it into a different place. But I do feel like the saging will really make a difference as well. And you can sage the sword. And again, only peace, love, and prosperity. That's all you need to say. And I feel like this will really start making a difference. So
we don't have too much time here to go much more into this, but I do keep getting this really crazy vision. And Kathy, you can kind of confirm or deny with your own psychic reaction here. The one thing I keep picking up on, I do pick up on the energy of the male here. And specifically what I keep being shown is that something is missing. And it's like spirit communicating that this male spirit is looking for a charm that was supposed to be on this sword and that it's not anymore. And I feel a sense of panic or nervousness or frustration looking for it. And I don't know why. This has never been shown to me ever before, but spirit keeps showing me to tie a red thread around the handle. I have no idea why, but they keep showing me that it clouds the energy and it kind of stops the soul or spirit from being able to create panic or havoc. Honestly, as I imagine this, it feels like the thumping and the banging is like the spirit looking for that charm and looking somewhere for it. Like where in the world is it? And kind of creating a little bit of a ruckus. So perhaps try this red thread. They keep showing me specifically the red thread that kind of goes around this handle. I doubt you're going to be able to find the charm that originally went with it, but at least start with that red thread. I think it'll be able to help there.
Awesome. Yeah, that could really make a difference. So yeah.
Oh, look, see, he says the thread is missing.
Okay, there you go.
Like
there,
the war.
Yeah. Perfect.
See, so perhaps replacing that thread
might help the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. See, I had no idea. That was a thing.
Pretty cool.
I saw the energy. All right, Kathy, so we have some donations.
Okay, so we'll get to those.
So
yeah.
If you could confirm, we did.
I just did, yes. Yeah.
And D or DI?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Zainab, you'll be next, and then DI is after that.
Okay.
Our pleasure, Brian. Good luck. Good luck, mate.
Yeah.
I think we've got you some good tools that you can help mitigate some of that chaos in your house right now. But what a cool thing to have and collect. That's awesome. That's really cool.
You're so welcome, Brian.
I'd love to see a picture of it.
Yeah.
All right, so Zainab is going to be up next here. I hope I'm saying your name right. So make sure you're still here in the chat with us. All right, so let's see. Make sure that we're probably on a little delay. There we go. Thank you, Zainab. All right, so Zainab would like to know, will me and Usman reconcile? And if he does, what does he want to say to me?
Okay, well, I may not get exact words, but just give me 1 second. It's interesting. I really feel The first thing I'm feeling is somebody coming at you in a place, I don't mean coming at you, but coming to you in a place of almost asking for forgiveness of some sort. It feels like they may have done. Can you confirm that for me? Has he done something, or was there some sort of energy that he would need to apologize for? Because it feels like I feel like I'm literally seeing somebody that's coming to you in a place of apology or a place of asking or seeking forgiveness of some sort. And I feel this is going to be really important. He needs to go through this energy. He needs to recognize what it was that he did, but you also need to recognize where your part was within this. And I feel like this forgiveness needs to happen. Oh, we went to court and everything and he cheated. Okay. Yeah. I'm really getting here a place of apology coming to you. I'm going to give you a broad time frame though. I feel 6 months. Okay. That doesn't mean it may take 6 months, but this is what I'm getting is about something to do with 6 months. He's really, this is almost like really an energy, head hanging, his hands on his heart. Like this guy is really seeking a deep, like he's not coming to you insincerely. I'm going to tell you that. Like this is an energy of, I feel like that might be why the delay within the energy of coming towards you, because he really needs to integrate what he has done. Like this, he has to go through that whole, he has to really recognize how much this hurt you. Yeah. Right. Like that's what I get. Like it's not something that he's going to wake up tomorrow and go, oh, I did this. He's got to feel this deep. He's got to feel this strong. He's about like, he's still operating. There's a place of ego here. So he's still in that place of defensiveness. Well, trying to make excuses of why he did this bullshit. God, I hate men that do that. I hate that energy. It's like, oh, I cheated, but I had to. Fuck off. Excuse my language, but seriously, enough, right? It's like, but just I feel like he needs to recognize this. He's going to come to you with that energy of really wanting that forgiveness. And here's the thing. If you feel you have to respond to him in a place where your lack of ego too, because if you're going to make him wallow or be in this place of, always being, reminding in some way or whatever it is, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
The ego isn't going to be able to see the transition or change that he is going through.
Yeah.
Only the heart is going to be able to do
that.
That.
So when somebody says, like, when here's the thing, as much as people that cheat really annoy the crap out of me, at the same time, when they're coming to you with that pure honesty and that pure vulnerability and that pure emotion, we have to make that decision too. Can I forgive? And if you forgive, then you make sure that you forgive. That's what I keep getting. Don't hang on to it. Don't throw it in their face. Don't, all of that stuff, because that relationship isn't going to work. You want that purity or that innocence back into that relationship to some degree. If you want this relationship to continue, it's got to be from a place of purity. So, hey, Dionysus.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The energy between the two of you, Zainab, is just, there really is quite a bond between you, and I imagine that's why, it hurts so much, but that bond still is there. It still exists. I even feel it in my gut. And even just connecting with you, I can feel some nervousness. I can feel that tension still that you're hanging on to. And it feels important for you to know that he is going to approach you with a sense of change about himself. There is going to be a change or transition that he's going to want to ride in and say, hey, I have gone through all of this. And what Spirit keeps showing me is that the two of you will be brought back to working on that foundation again of your connection. They show me that it's like you get to learn how to be friends again, and that's going to feel like a really strong foundational point in your connection together. So I think take things slow, take things nice and easy, because with the changes that he's going to be exhibiting in himself and that he does show you, it will need to take time, and time will be one of the biggest things for you to be shown that he is changed. It's not just something he's saying, it is something he has experienced or gone through. So definitely allow that timing to take place, and allow him to go through all the things that he needs to, like Kathy was saying, and that learned changed behavior will be obvious in that time.
I feel there's such a shift right now. And the thing is that especially within the masculine energy, they're recognizing where they screwed up. They recognize this is a very, Aquarius, itself is a very open energy, and it's a very allowing energy, and it's a very, forgiving energy. It's very much about humanity. And I feel like these people, especially, like the masculine energy right now, they're starting to really recognize what it is that where they may have messed up in the past, or what they were hanging on to, or their ego. And here's the thing, is that we also have to be in that place as that feminine energy, no matter the gender, of that allowing that forgiveness. Like when somebody's being vulnerable and saying, look I messed up, I screwed up, we have to also be in that place of accepting and allowing and moving forward, especially if we truly want, this person in our lives. So I hope that's helped.
It's a tough place, Zainab. I think we both feel you here. Just know that there is absolute change coming.
Yeah,
absolutely. Very welcome, love.
And Dionysus, nice to see you. And you're so sweet. I don't need to search for shows. I found the best one. You're so sweet. It's so good to see you. We're so happy to have you here. So thank you. And big kisses to you too. All right. And then the next one was...
All right, so that's D or DI. I'm not sure how to say it there. Oh, I go by D. Perfect. There we go.
Okay.
So D would like to know, will Tim and I be in a relationship?
Okay. Tim has an interesting energy to him. I almost... This is a weird question. Is he older than you? Like by, I want to say, like, is there an older energy? I can't tell if this is a soul energy or if this is literally a physical energy. I feel like there's an age, like an age gap in here somehow, which I'm not quite understanding.
Saying older by 3 years, do you say?
So it's not that much older, but it feels like there's an energy of older within his energy field. Okay, D, I feel like there will be a relationship, but there also has to be... I feel like there's a lot of... It's a really weird energy. I feel like there's some things that you're going to have, like that you have to learn or allow. It almost feels like the reason that the relationship isn't, like you guys aren't in that, I guess, that committed type of relationship at this point, is there is this element of it almost feels like you have some, right? Like, where I'm going with this. I don't know if you have the better words for it or not, but it almost feels like there needs to be a level of maturity that's coming through here. Is that what you're getting? Because it feels as though he's sort of holding back a little bit. He's holding back because he needs a different level of maturity within this relationship. And I feel that he's sort of sitting there waiting for it to happen. And it, like, I feel it's coming through, but this is also going to have to do with you, Di, allowing that process to happen within yourself.
Did somebody, I keep being shown somebody hanging on to a death, some kind of death or passing. And it could be the death of a relationship, but it also could be a physical death as well. And I keep feeling this is what is kind of stunting something. So perhaps not fully going through with an ending, or the ending of something could be what's holding, okay, not me. So it could be, perhaps Tim here. And this maturity that needs to happen to grow past that moment, because Spirit keeps showing me that it's difficult to share emotions together because of this circumstance, because of whatever had happened from the past and isn't fully moved on from yet. So I feel that because the emotions aren't flowing as naturally as they could be, like they're being held back in some way, this is exactly what Kathy was talking about, that sense of maturity that has to come through. It does feel like there is to be a bond, but I feel like that's going to have to be overcome first in order for it to sit in a harmonious way that works for the both. Oh, he's divorced.
Yeah,
okay,
that
there
might
we
be
go.
it.
So,
Yeah, because it almost feels like, okay, so the first image I got. All right, I'm going to try to explain this as quick as I can in a way that's going to make the most sense. So through his divorce, I feel like there was a lot of immature behavior in that process, okay? And that might be where, I think that's where Brandon's picking up that loss. And I'm also picking up the maturity level needs to be raised. Here's what I'm getting is that there is an unfairness from him to some degree, the way he's looking at maybe perhaps things that have happened between the two of you, whether this is wording or, events between the two of you, something is that he's unfairly looking at a situation and kind of putting you into this place of his ex in some way, or maybe even past exes to some degree. So now it's almost as though he's in this place of, well, I've already been there, done that. I know everything. There's a lot of ego that's coming through there. And I feel like it's almost like he's watching to see how you're going to behave. What I'm going to tell you, Di, is that you need to be yourself. Be who you are. This is going to be the most important information that I can give you. I feel like if you try to do something that there might be a level of like trying to impress him, he may really see it. Like he might back off. Okay. You need to be in this place of, I'm going to fully be myself, who I am. Don't try to make, we don't want to put in false jealousy. We don't want to put in, false narratives, false agendas, anything like that. He is going to see it. I feel like he will see it, but he has to release whatever this negative pain was from the past is what I'm getting.
Absolutely. Yeah. That way y'all two can move forward together without him carrying all the stuff from the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I hope that helps. I do feel this is a really good process for the both of you. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this is a really good process for the both of you because I do feel this connection coming in. It's just the matter of like all of these that you're going through are very needed to make that relationship stable in the future. So these aren't all of what you're learning, all of what you're going to be going through, all of what you've already done. It's not for naught, right? Like there was a reason, and I feel it's to bring a maturity level into this relationship going forward into the future. So I hope that helps because it's going to be on a different level. It's going to be a stronger level.
There's something else I'm getting about you, Dee, and Spirit keeps showing me that you are there is a spiritual force about you. And it may be something that I don't know if you use it or regularly pay attention to it or what, but they keep showing me that you're to be bringing in this energy. And there is an inspiration that you do bring to Tim. There's something about an abundant nature that you have that gets offered or even, you know, picked up on by others around you, but they're specifically showing me that you kind of ride in to bring this energy to Tim, and it allows him to believe again, and to believe and open up, and to understand that, you know, abundance is real, and all it is just a state, and that you can help him kind of get there or be there. There's something about your energy that does this and sort of acts as if not a catalyst, an inspiration for him to be able to see differently. I even feel like he kind of already sees you in this light, actually. Something about you, I don't know if you've gone through an extreme of being pessimistic in the past and you've now understood yourself at a different level, and now you understand the beauty and synchronicity and nature of life. And if you have, then great. If not, this will be a beautiful journey for you too, like Kathy was saying. But there is something important that it feels like you're supposed to inspire within him, that, I don't know, it feels like it comes full circle. And this is where Kathy was saying it's like a learning thing for the both of you. It really feels like a full circle moment. And those are some beautiful types of connections.
Absolutely.
When that happens, it's like almost karmic, right? It's got that karma, dharma, you know, whichever you call it, the positive form of karma. It has that kind of energy to it where it like circles back. So it feels really nice.
I feel like when you guys are in that place, when you come together, you know, it removes the doubt, it removes the fear, it removes the jealousy, like, I'm actually getting chills from this. Like, I feel like, yes, this is a lot, this is a process, but it feels so solid on the other end. It just feels so solid, so connected, so strong. So I do feel like this is, you know, as Brandon was saying, like this is all absolutely necessary for you. So I hope that's helped. And thank you again for subscribing, donating, coming onto the show, watching. I truly hope that this has helped. So yeah.
Thank you, Dee.
Yeah. And so Denise, thank you. Thank you for your donations so much. To all of you that have donated, we truly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all.
What is Denise?
All right, so I think I saw Denise's question in the chat. I just want to see the rest of the month for me. Okay. So that's what Denise is asking here.
Okay.
The rest of the month. Oh, just January? That's it?
All right, Denise, interesting. First thing I'm really getting here. It's funny because I literally got shown a tarot card for you right off the start. So I'm going to just bring in this energy first, because I'm going to start with this, because this is what I was getting. 6 of Swords. So this is talking about going from a place of like some sense of turbulence to these still and more flowing waters. It almost feels like you went through this area of this massive turbulence, or like, this doesn't need to be physical. This can be absolutely internal, like a lot of releasing, a lot of letting go of blocks, barriers, all of that stuff that, you know, overwhelms us. It feels like I'm literally getting shown you climbing a ladder. It almost feels like, okay, I'm on the next rung. What do you got for me? You know, bring it on. And then you're on the next rung, but you're going higher, you're going higher, you're going higher as you're going through that. I really feel like catalyst. Okay, I just heard that there's some sort of catalyst domino effect coming towards. I feel like this is, I'm getting the 6 of Swords. Like I said, you know, going in from those troubled waters into the smooth waters. I'm not at this point seeing that domino effect, which doesn't mean anything. I'm just going to keep within this energy at this point. What I'm really getting here is this climbing this ladder. It almost feels like there's a lot of things that are it's like you're trying to release everything. That's what I keep getting. It's like you're trying to really release everything. You're really going internally and fighting these past energies, demons, like I'm just shadow work. There's a lot of shadow work that it feels like you've been doing. And like I said, I just keep feeling like he's saying, you know, bring it on. Let's give it to me. Let's just go. Like enough of this staying in this energy that's stagnant, not moving, not creating it. You know, it almost feels like, okay, like to some degree there's this energy that before you were sort of just floating along. Okay, I want to say like the, you know, it doesn't mean that you didn't accomplish anything or things like that, but there was a part of that soul that felt like you weren't completely accomplishing what it was that you wanted to accomplish. Like there was always this door that was felt like there was closed. You might have at points opened that door, but it feels like there's some, you know, doors that you couldn't either open yourself. I feel like the doors were always there for you to open, or that they were open for you, but it just feels like you didn't want to open them for some reason, or you felt stuck, or maybe there was pressure on the door, like you had to put more pressure on it. And what I'm getting here is like you kind of came to this revelation within yourself where you're like, enough. I've had enough. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of my own crap. And when we get to that point, that is so powerful. And it's so like it's just so full of energy and it's like this, I keep wanting to say the word magnitude, like it's on this magnitude of power. And it's like you just kind of went, I'm done with me. I'm done with me. Like I'm done with my own junk, and I want to start building and bridging and going higher. And so that's what I keep getting. So I feel like this month there may be a domino effect. I feel like there's a little bit of some tower moments coming through, but behind that, again, I'm still feeling that Six of Swords energy, which is really, you know, moving from troubled waters into the smooth, calm. It's like you've released all of your fears, all of your blocks, all of your barriers because of these tower moments that have been coming through. And it is so strong and it is so powerful. And that's what I feel this next week is going to truly, or this next month is going to truly produce for you. It almost feels like you go from being like this energetically or within your solar plexus to all of a sudden being like that and just completely opening.
You know, I'm tapping into everything that everybody else is tapping into as well. And that's why I like telling my impressions before any information is said, just to validate, you know, that I am tapping into the right thing here. But you're exactly right, Kathy and Denise. You know, your intuition is spot on with this as well. You absolutely are unlocking and tapping into some important emotions that are going to lead to you letting go of some important things. You might even visit some memories from childhood and things that are going to be reframed or let go of, and they are going to allow some movement forward. So these tower moments, you know, for a lot of people, I think they hear that and think, oh God, oh no, here we go. You know, I'm going to fall off this tower and crash to my death. No. You know, really, it's a moment for reintegrating. And I feel like you are going to tap into some really important things that have either caused you triggers in the past or put you into this like either void or almost amnesic, anxious, nervous kind of energetic place. And you're going to be able to remove these triggers. You're going to be able to get to their roots. And you're going to be able to, like I said, either integrate them in a way or cut them out altogether. These things that were adopted from, it feels like many years ago. And again, Spirit just keeps showing me this final push forward and this movement forward once these things are detached or disconnected from. So you're definitely in for an intense next 2 weeks. That's for sure. I think the rest of this month is going to be quite revealing for you.
But
quite revealing.
But I'm also hearing and getting, once you go through this, there is that energy that I'm receiving here of, I do feel, I don't want to be corny, but I'm going to be corny anyway. That's okay. I'm just going to be corny. I feel like there's this energy of this soul relationship that is coming through. and all of this clearing. It almost feels like you may have even gone through this clearing simply because you really did want to bring it through this soul relationship, but it wasn't the only reason. Like, I do feel there was a genuality within your reasoning of wanting to go, to release all of this. But, ultimately, there is a hope in there. And what I keep getting, I hear February, I hear almost the first week of February. Now, of course, the energies can change, but it feels like when you release this, you literally are opening up those doors. I sometimes talk about the hallway. I see the hallway like it's like a hallway, and it's almost as though you're literally opening up those doors to that hallway and saying, okay, here we go. Let's come on through. I've opened the doors. They're ready. All you have to do is take that step forward. And it's interesting. 2, 4, 6. The third door is down. I don't know why I'm being shown this, but I feel like it's important and I just need to say it.
3 doors down, isn't that a band?
It is. But I see you standing here, and then there's like a door, 2 doors here, and then 2 doors, and then 2 doors, right? And there's somebody that's coming through this like third door on the right. And I like, this person. I don't know what the number 3 has to do with. I don't know if any of this even makes any sense, because sometimes I'm shown things that will completely resonate with you. Sometimes they're just random wackadoodle stuff that comes through. But it's almost like somebody is peeking out of that third door on the right, and I feel like they want to come forward. This is somebody that you already know. This is somebody that has been hiding themselves to some degree as well. And I feel like all of this work that you've been doing is allowing them to open up that door as well. So I hope that helps. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, Denise, in any way, shape, or form, but this is what I keep feeling.
Oh, it's interesting. When you do something in yourself, when you open something up, then you start seeing it in other people, right? Mm-hmm. It's like when you get a car, you all of a sudden start seeing that car everywhere on the road, right? It feels like a similar type of energy. Okay, now this is opened up or healed or fixed within me. Oh, now I can see it in this other person. They're coming at me with that same energy. So it's like a law of attraction kind of thing.
Yeah. And she says that it does make sense to her. I just feel like this was, here's the thing. I'm hearing from your guides in here somewhere that they're literally saying you had enough of your own crap and you were ready to move forward. You took the reins and you are charging ahead. So this was all, I almost feel like your guides were trying to push you in that direction, but there was a bit of stubbornness within you that wasn't really completely allowing it. And once you started taking the reins of it, I almost feel like them all kind of standing back and going, here we go. Finally, like, she is going. We're just going to keep, she asks for it. We're bringing it. Yeah, they knew. They 100% knew. And that's exactly what I'm getting is like, I'm hearing from them saying she's like, finally, like you just got to this place where you're sick of yourself. And we've all been there, right? Like, you're sick of your own crap. You're sick of your own, excuses or blocks or barriers or whatever it is. And you kind of just went, I'm freaking done and I'm going. And they kind of just went, about time. Okay, let's do this. You have a whole spiritual team behind you that is like, they 100% have your back, and they are and they're behind Kevin's too. That's what I'm getting. So there's an integration now of not only his team, but your spiritual team. And now they're creating, now they're building. Now you guys can start, producing is what I get. So you'll see as they go. Yeah. What did she say? So they knew.
They knew.
They knew. They knew. But you know what? Here's the thing, that there's some work that you got to do on yourself, right? Like, they're there. They're always there. They're always helping. But sometimes, and it's funny because sometimes
they only help those that help themselves, right?
Right. But sometimes too is they sometimes we feel alone. Sometimes we feel like we're taking this journey alone, and we feel like, where the hell's my spirit team? Like, where did they go? Why do I feel like alone? And that's truly where they're really being their strongest, but they're also really helping us with that next step. They're not going to bring the ladder to you. Like, they're not going to bring that rung to you. You have to reach for that rung. And when you do, they're pushing your butt up the ladder, they got you. But we have to also recognize it ourselves. There's a scene in Harry Potter, and this reminds me, I don't know why this scene just literally just popped into my head. I don't know if you've ever watched Harry Potter, but there's a scene where Harry pretends to give what's his name? What's the little red-haired guy's name?
Ron.
A magic potion. Right. And Ron thinks that he's all full of power and all of this stuff. And he thinks that, he's got all this luck behind him. And Harry's like, no, I actually didn't. That was all within you. And I feel like there's this element of that in there. So I hope I've seen the first movie. Yeah, maybe watch this one. I think it was like the fourth, maybe. I don't know. Just watch all of them. You'll know what I'm saying. Just watch all of them. It'll be easier. I can't remember which one it was. But that was sort of the image that it just sort of sprung up. It's like they're there, but you have to do the work yourself, right? You have to, and you've done that, and they're applauding, and they're right behind you. And I feel like this is what's going on. So I hope that helps.
Quite a finish to the month here.
Yeah.
Oh, Will says it's the fifth movie.
Oh, the fifth movie. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Will.
What is that? The Order of the Phoenix?
No, that's the third. No, maybe it is. Maybe you're right. Yeah, you could be right. Fourth movie?
I think it's the Order of the Phoenix. Because the fourth is the Goblet of Fire.
Right.
And the fifth, I think, is the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the Half-Blood Prince.
Right.
Right?
I think so. Okay. I can never remember. I just sit and watch.
I've read all the way up until the fifth book, and then a friend of mine ruins the fifth book or the sixth book on AIM chat, and I was so mad that I couldn't even read it.
Well, you should watch them. You got to watch them. They're so good. But I hope that that's helped, Denise. I truly do. I do feel like this is coming through. So
Yes, the 20th is approaching. Yes, AIM.
Well, okay, Denise, so you joined a little late, and that's okay. And so I'm just going to tell you what I told people at the beginning very quickly. So the challenge this week, to those that are still watching, is allow your intuition to really work this week. Don't if something on media, social media, something on the news isn't feeling right, if you're feeling that anxious, that panic, all of that stuff, you have to really look into yourself this week. Really, this is going to be the challenge for this week, and then we can talk about it next week. The challenge for this week is, am I following my intuition, or am I following what the collective is wanting me to feel? There we go. Am I following my own intuition, or am I following what the collective is throwing at me at this time? Okay. So that might be something to really, really think about. Yeah.
Hey there, Angel. We are actually out of time here. We have just ended our readings. But if you want us to put you on the list for next week, make sure you subscribe. We'll be doing a show next week as well. So, and for all those that are listening in, if you did not get a chance to get a reading today, come back next week. And that way we can put you on the list and get you a chance to read. And again, we do take donations, and they are put at the top of the list. So if you don't want to wait on the list or have the lottery, then you can send a donation. Kathy's got that link there. So
Okay. So Denise was talking about the 20th for her personal life. Do you pick up anything with that? Just real quick.
Well, it feels like, there's, let's see, Denise, you're a Scorpio, right? So all this that's happening is in Aquarius. So it's not really making any angles or anything to your sun. I'd have to look up. I don't know if I have your full chart. I might have your chart. I don't remember. But just in general, I mean, the next 2 weeks, what's today? The 16th, so 4 days away. It's the 17th is when I think the square happens between Mars and Uranus, and it's either Saturn or Jupiter. I think it's Saturn. And so I think that's happening on the 17th, and we'll feel that energy for a couple days before and after. But anything specific, this is where I feel
like... Is there anything specific that you were wondering? Like, is there a specific... Because I'm not really...
This is where I feel there's going to be that big growth opportunity. Like, it's likely in the next few days that you start feeling this, like, internal chipping away at kind of thing. And then it feels like around the 20th, and specifically I keep being shown 20 to 22 is where this growth and then social interaction happens because of it. So exactly what Kathy and I were talking about today. I don't remember what was talked about in other shows about the 20th, if that was brought up before. Again, I try not to remember everything that was read before just for the sake of connecting fresh every single time,
Yeah.
So it feels like that could be that moment. Yeah, the awakening. Look at that. Okay, that's perfect. So it's exactly what we were talking about today too. So that makes perfect sense. It's likely that it is happening around there, but I keep being shown 20 to 22. So maybe it takes a couple days.
I still feel an integration coming in somewhere around the first week of February as well. It feels like there was a lot of releasing between, it could be where a recognition of all of this coming through, but the physical might not be until February, or there might be a stronger bond coming through within the first week or so of February is what I'm getting. So
it seems like that 20th is probably going to be the awakening, give or take a day or two.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be right around that time.
So
I think that's going to be what we were talking about, that healing, that tower moment. Awakening often looks like a tower, right? It looks like that tower moment.
I really feel like keep your energy. Like I almost feel like Denise is like, when I'm looking at that hallway, I almost want you to like call down that hallway and say it is safe to come through, Kevin. Like allow that safety to allow him to walk through. So by letting him know on a spiritual level and saying, look it's safe. That will also help, because I literally am seeing like a head peeking out, like, you know what I mean? When somebody's scared or hesitant about coming around the corner or opening up the door or looking around the corner. So allow that energy. It's almost like literally spiritually saying it is safe to come forward. I feel like that will really make that difference too. So
I think so.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all of the donations. Thank you guys, for being here. It has been a true pleasure to have you guys here. We're going to be back, I believe, at our regular time next week. If not, just, watch watch when I put up the live announcements and stuff. I don't see any problem with that, but thank you so much for everybody. It's, stay alert to that challenge. Okay. Trust your intuition, and we'll see you all. And thank you so much for everybody. And thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure, love. Hey, you take care too.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Give it a sec.